All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Bakakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Grand Millstone that taught me this truth, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, the Yakim and the Akwaf, scattered around the four corners of the globe that have returned to the obedience of the scriptures in these latter days. All right, and I want to touch on in this lesson the shield of faith. All right, the shield of faith, which is basically a saying, if you will, taken from Ephesians, the sixth chapter. All right, Ephesians, the sixth chapter. Okay, so we're going to touch on that, right? Because essentially, you know, the scriptures let us know that we're at war. All right, we're at war. Okay, being that, we're Israelites, being that, you know, um, we are of the hopeful elect. All right, we are under a very heavy amount of opposition. All right, not only do we have opposition in the form of Esau, Edom. All right, but we have opposition, within our own selves, right? The carnal mind, and Esau likes to utilize, and weaponize our, the flesh against us. Like brothers always say, you are your own worst enemy sometimes. All right, and again, we're at a war, man. The scriptures liken us to soldiers for a reason. All right, and let me prove that. Let me get that real quick. All right, this is Second Timothy chapter 2 and verse 4. All right, let me share my screen. Make sure my screen is here. Okay. Second Timothy chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life." All right, no man that warreth. All right, and I'm tempted. We're gonna go into a few words here. Right, here's that word warreth. Strong's G 4754. It says to make a military expedition. All right, and that's what we are spiritually. All right, spiritually, we are soldiers for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, but the Lord gave the command, all right, to be as harmless, as wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. All right, we're not fighting a physical war. We're not looking to pick up arms and you know uh, uh, stir up a revolution or a revolt against Esau Edom. We're not looking to do that. We don't have to do that. Ultimately, Esau's reign on the planet Earth, his time in the power seat, all that was already predetermined. Okay, all that was predetermined, so we don't have to do anything. All we gotta do is sit back and wait for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, all right, and do what he told us to do, all right, which is do the work, you know. But the scriptures do say the Lord is a man of war, all right, and information warfare is a real thing, a war on information. All right, and before Yahweh Shai comes and cracks the clouds, okay, in what's called in the so-called UFOs, before he comes and does that and wages war against Esau and all the heathen physically, all right, we've been tasked with pushing the gospel. All right, we've been tasked with the information battle, so to speak. All right, so let me read this again. This is Second Timothy chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier." All right, so we're in a spiritual war. All right, that's the point. We are soldiers in a spiritual war. All right, and it's not a joke. It's not a game. All right, this is very real. Okay, and our primary method of defense, our primary defense mechanism, is faith. All right, it's the names of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and it's faith. Okay, and let me get a precept just to go into the names real quick. Because this is a precept that comes out a lot, but this precept, has a lot of ramifications. When you really meditate on it, spiritually. This is Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 10. It says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. Okay, the righteous runneth into it and is safe. All right, and a strong tower is also another defense mechanism. A watchtower. If you've seen the TV show, A Game of Thrones, you had the men of the Night's Watch, right, which would stand on the tower, all right, to watch the north. So again, we got to understand what are our defense mechanisms in this truth, in this spiritual battle. We have faith, all right, and we have faith specifically in the names and the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right, understanding, the power that we serve. Okay, so let me jump to Ephesians real quick. All right, this is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 11. It says, "Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." Right, and when you get that word "wiles" in the Greek, it's a methodia, right? The methods of the devil, right? And that word "devil" just means deceiver. All right, addressing Esau. Okay, and he has a lot of methods. He has a lot of tactics in which he's attacking us. All right, but mainly, really what's under attack is our faith. All right, our faith is what's under attack, because again, what do the scriptures say? The scriptures say that this is all a trial of our faith, So that shield that we're using, right, and it's going to go into that in this chapter, that shield that we're using, which is faith, is being tested. Case in point, you got like a bulletproof glass, right? Or you got, I'll say a bulletproof glass, right? You don't know how strong the glass actually is, or a bulletproof window, I should say. You don't know how strong it is until somebody has tried to, shoot through it. So each brother's individual faith is being tested. It's being tested. But once the faith is gone, you're through. That's our primary mode of defense. Okay, so this is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. But before I get that real quick, just because I quoted it, I want to get that real quick. Because as time goes on, Satan is going to try to mess with our faith. All right, he's going to try to make us forget all the things that the Lord has done for us up to this point, because us being here at this point is a miracle. The fact that we woke up, the fact that we came back to the truth and to the remembrance of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and stop being niggas in the world, that alone is a miracle. Okay, the very existence of the nation of Israel is a miracle in itself, because technically, when you go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Abraham's wife was barren, man. She was not barren; she was up in old age. She was up in old age, but the Lord, allowed her to conceive seed, and she brought forth Isaac, which in turn brought forth Jacob. All right, and that's not even considering, the Exodus, all the plagues in Egypt, the deliverance, the miraculous deliverance. Okay, so the very founding of our nation, our very existence in itself is a miracle, man. All right, but this whole program, this whole scenario, right? This whole situation that we're in, it's a test. It's a test of our faith. All right, that shield is being tried, is being tested. Okay, this is First Peter chapter 1 and verse 7. It says that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right, so faith is really the primary subject matter, when it comes to this truth. That amongst others, prophecy, all right, our Lord Yahweh Shai, okay, the ministry, right? But faith is the glue. Faith is what ties it all together. And let's get the definition of faith real quick. This is Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1. It says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. All right. And the times we're about to enter into, all right, it's going to be very important that we continue, to view things spiritually. All right. That we continue to remember all the little minute and major, because the Lord is doing things, man. The Lord is the Lord is always working. There are things that are happening in, brothers' lives, things happening in the camp, all right, that, outsiders just have no idea about, right? That's why there's a saying in the world, if you know, you know. All the little things, man, like seeing 144, that's a thing, in our camp and probably others, I would imagine, right? The Lord working out, job situations, working out financial situations. All right, all this is a part of that faith, man. Okay, and that's not even considering, the works of the Lord, nature, all right, all the systems and things that govern the planet Earth and how harmoniously they operate. We we gotta pray and meditate on all that, because again, that's what's getting ready to be under attack. Okay, so let's go back to Ephesians chapter 6. In verse 13, it says, where actually, let me read verse 12 again. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Right, going into Esau Edom, going into the priest, the left hand priesthood of Esau Edom. All right, the modern day Chaldeans. Okay, Lucifer, the light bearer. These wicked ass, evil, demonic as Edomites that are sitting in the background doing all manners of sorcery and enchantment and you know subtlety against the elect. Okay, and that's really what's taking place. We're not worried about the sword. We're not worried about the physical sword. That doesn't mean we go around acting like idiots. Trying the Lord. The scriptures say, agree with our adversary quickly. But at the end of the day, carnality, this flesh, all right, mortality, which is just the ability to die. We're putting all that off. We can't. We're not worried about that. That's why the scriptures say. Let me get this real quick. This is Second Ezra chapter 14 and verse 14, and it reads. It says, "Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times." All right, and the point of that is in the 14th verse. Let go from the mortal thoughts. All right, we got to let that a lot of that's got to get let go, and that's going to become more evident as we enter into Jacob's trouble. All right, all this carnal shit, all this our life here in Babylon the Great, all that shit, it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. The only reason it's had any meaning up to this point is just so that we could fulfill our lot and do the work within the ministry, so that we can do that. That's the only purpose of all this. But again, as we go on, the Lord is going to start taking away more and more and more, and we're just going to be left with what? With faith. All right. So this is Ephesians 6 and 13. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, and that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand. And that makes me think about that the last scene of or the final battle in the movie 300 when Leonidas and his troops are going against the Persians. All right, and they're in that shielded formation, right? And it's just arrows upon arrows upon arrows, beating down on those shields. That's the time we're coming into, man. That's the time we're coming into. Okay. So let me jump down real quick. Let me see. I wanted to get the scripture with the shield of faith. Okay, it's in 16. This is Ephesians 4 and 14. It says, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. And this is the point of verse 16. It says, above all, right? And I want to get above, all right? Above all, right? Epi in the Greek says upon, at, by, before, all right? Before, all right? So before anything else, that shield is what's most important. Okay, it says, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Right, and again, that's that scene in 300 with Leonidas and his troops. We're getting ready to get, those fiery darts shot at us. All right, in the form of, the straight gate, in the form of persecution, tribulation. Our faith is getting ready to be tested and tried out. All right. So that's pretty much the point I wanted to get on that real quick. Lord's willing, this was edifying. With